Hello! Welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Steve Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles that life throws our way in order to get something done. Together, we've been trying to make comic books for the last billion years. Stephen, we're on issue 3 of our comic book Death List. It's a supernatural superhero culty comedy comic. And Stephen, this week, I've done so much
That's exciting.
coloring, Steven. Like previously in Anthony's life. Like I was a little stressed out. I wasn't happy. I was pretty upset like with my work stuff, but happy with everything else. Like that's kind of like where I've been lately, is I've been like I'm in this relationship where I've never been happier. I feel super connected to her and everything's been like really wonderful. And so much so that like every time I was at work, I felt like that pit where I'm just like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? I am
This
unhappy.
place sucks my joy.
It really does. It's a vampire. The world is
It sucks me off in the wrong way.
Steven, you're right. You're absolutely right. It did not know what it was doing. It's like what that mouth do all the wrong things. It's very toothy. It's very Steven.
And super dry.
How dry. Okay, but yeah. So my job was just like giving me the worst of the beaches, Stephen, and I couldn't deal with it. My life needed better. No, so last week I was really thinking about it, and I feel like I talked myself into quitting while talking to you like on the podcast, like while we were all talking. I'm just like I don't want to do this. I can't do this anymore. For those of you who don't know, I worked retail specifically. I worked for this place for 14 years, Stephen. Like, that, like 14 years I worked for this place, and they gave me a 1% raise on my latest review and said that I didn't meet expectations because I didn't get enough credit card signups at a craft store.
And you're just like,
yeah, dude. So I was like, I like, as
how good was that?
oh,
Like, did they feel the ramifications of their actions?
okay, yeah, well, hilariously, so what ended up happening is when I got the performance review, I just kind of sat there and I was like taking it all in and just like, I need to think about this. I don't want to like make any like hasty, decision and just like quit on the spot and make it like some big issue. I was just like, I'm gonna think about it. So we talked on the podcast and like, went over it. And dude, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to work. If anything happens, I'll put in my 2 weeks notice or something. And I was sitting there and dude, like someone brought up at my work, someone just like brought up like, oh, coupons, like, blah, blah, blah. Like you guys are handing out too many coupons, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And I'm just like, I'm just like doing my job and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, why am I doing this? I was like, I have a good situation right now where I don't need to be doing this anymore, and I can just focus on our comics. I can, I can be home comfortably in a happy where I am doing what I want to do with the person I love. Why am I here suffering and hating this and like being miserable? And I was just like, why wouldn't I like grasp this opportunity as soon as possible? So
Take a leap. Take
yeah,
the leap of faith.
and that's what it is. It's the whole, fortune favors the bold thing. And like I kind of talk myself into it because I mean this relationship as a whole that I'm in with KT Carlisle, she's like the love of my life, Stephen. Like I didn't expect to ever be in a relationship again. I was kind of settling, I was in a place where I was like, oh, I'm gonna die alone. And just kind of like not dating, not interested. And then I was like, I just took that leap and then it's worked out like ridiculously so I was like, okay, why wouldn't I just do that? I'm gonna do it again. Like why wouldn't I continue? It's
Why wouldn't I keep jumping over these gaps that seem impossible?
yeah, well, it's that whole thing where it's like, we suffer the ills we have rather than going to the ills we know not of, where it's like that's what we keeps us still. I'm afraid of the unknown and like what would happen. But I was like, I might as well. Like, I'm gonna die one day. I might as well like do what I can with this freaking time. So I'm sitting at work and I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I was like, there's no need for me to put in 2 weeks notice. They have enough people who work here. This isn't a mom and pop shop. This place makes enough money where they don't even want to pay me more than 1% raise. Like they're just a piece of crap company who, gives their like CEOs like all these huge bonuses, whereas like people who work there forever get nothing at all, and get yelled at for nonsense. So I was like, this is my last day. And you know what I did, Steven? I chose to just laugh at everything. Right. And like, that's what it was. I was just like, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna do this thing. So like my favorite thing was when people would be like obnoxious, I would just go, ma'am, I don't care. It's my last day here. And I just like said,
Man, I don't care about your problems.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, well, that's what happened. I was like, people would like give me grief, and I'd just be like, it's my last day. Like, I'm not concerned about it at all. Like, it's just, you can't phase me. I am unflappable. I was like, no,
What are you gonna do? Get me fired
fired. Yeah.
on my last day?
Yeah, that was another thing. I was like, I've never been fired from a job, and I was like, oh, maybe I should try. I was like, maybe I should try, but no,
Maybe I
I was
should
like,
push the limits.
push limited. Yeah, I mean, I thought about like doing some grand gesture, but like, I think that I like the idea that I quit being myself and being kind to people and just deciding that I was better than what they were offering me, and like that was what that's what happened. So I got to the point where, and it was funny, like seeing the different responses from people, my coworkers when I would tell them, and like because like I have friends who I've known for like 20 years there, and they're just like, yes, get out of this place. You're better than this.
He did it.
And I was like, yeah.
He's basically like Abe from Oddworld. He'll hopefully come back and save all of us. But
God, dude. But I did it, Steven. I did it. I told them it was my last
that's
day,
amazing.
and
what was their reaction? Were they just like, okay?
So okay, so like one of the managers literally was like, thank God. Like she was like, I'm so glad that you're actually going and doing something, because like I know she's like, you can do better than this place, and I know you can, and she was like kind of believing in me, in a way, and I was like, I appreciate it. Everyone else was basically saying similar things, like really cool about her, just like good for you. Like, I'm glad you're doing something. There was one person who was just like, are you going to put in your 2 weeks notice? And I was like, no. But you know what? To her credit, she shifted pretty quickly once I explained why I wasn't putting in my 2 weeks notice. Or she's like, oh, well, what are you doing? And just like, I, became a little more interested and like less judgy. But yeah, dude, it feels so good. So then I had like the rest of the couple days last week, to like settle in and start like figuring this stuff out. And like amazingly, it worked out where the following week, this week, starting today, Atlas was going into Taekwondo after school. So not only
so it's like double, it was like double reward. It was like double cookie.
Okay. So it's like so much free time. So I have all this extra free time, and Atlas gets to spend time with kids and do something cool that I never did as a kid, and like, so it's just like he's gonna get these skills and have fun with his friends and get to spend time around other kids and like, kind of have those interactions that I feel like everyone needs a little, and like he doesn't have that where we live. Like when I was a kid, I always lived in apartment complexes, so there were always a lot of kids around.
There's always there was definitely kids existing. There was like a whole kid stratosphere basically.
Yes, so it's like, we go outside, we play manhunt, we play tag, we play, we like throw rocks at each other or whatever, like you play
whatever us Florida boys do,
Yeah, but like I feel like he hasn't really had that, and I've tried to reach out to like his friends at school and get their parents involved and be like, hey, let's hang out, and they just haven't responded. So it's been hard. But so anyway, it's really cool that started, but it feeds into like this super productive era that I'm about to embark in, Steven. Like this is like
that's amazing, dude.
Steven, it's unbelievably cool, because like it's scary as shit though. Like I am scared of it. Like I'm like, okay, Steven, I'm gonna need money. I'm gonna need I have to make sure this works. I have to like make sure we're doing stuff to earn money, and like hopefully our Kickstarters are extra successful this time, and hopefully the bloodlust pays off for us, and hopefully all that stuff works out. And I feel like it will. I feel like it is working out. It's just a matter of continuing to do it. But speaking of that, like, how did you do this week? What did you want to do? What were you working on?
I'm just trying to I need to get Bloodlust cleared by this Friday. So I've been like diligently working. I think I only have about 2.5 pages left, but I'm going to try to get all that done by Friday. So, yeah, that's my goal. And I completed like another page or 2 or 3 even since we last spoke.
Dude, oh my God. So as far as the Bloodlust, I know we're not like talking at length about it, but so for those of you who don't know, we're working on a like kind of secretive, not safe for work vampire project called Bloodlust. It's kind of like a revenge love story situation that spans ages, but we're working on it with like a publisher who isn't us. And so I'm writing it, and Steven's doing the art, and I'm doing the lettering. And so Steven, what's your deadline is this week? What's the publishing situation? When's that actually launching?
So I think they really are just waiting on us. So I think
Okay.
the moment we have it, they're gonna go to print. Like they've already ran the at least like some of the pre-order stuff, or is it the pre-launch? I don't know because I don't know how marketing works, but I think it might just be the pre-launch site.
Okay.
Um, and then they're gonna go to print and they're gonna print this short. It's because it's only like 11 pages, I think, 11 pages,
Yeah.
whatever you wrote.
Yeah.
So this is more like an introductory book. So yeah, I just can't believe how many pages I've like started from nothing to full color.
Dude, you've been like killing through the like just burning through these pages, like freaking Ghost Rider. Like it's like
Yeah,
just
every time I do a page, I find like the final colors and everything done. Boom.
yeah.
Anthony Letter.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude. It's impressive. It's like I feel like you're like honing in certain techniques that are like working for you
Mhm.
that are like, you know, it's
Man,
good.
I
And
figured out I found this like
I was gonna say like I see like some of your shortcuts like as I'm like looking at the pages. I'm like, oh, okay, that was smart. And I can see where you cut little corners that you wouldn't cut in Deathless because
yeah.
of the project. Which is, but you know what? I don't think any of it suffered for it. I think like there's a cool style to Bloodlust that like totally works. I like
Hmm.
I don't do like do you think is there anything that you've learned while drawing Bloodlust that you think you're gonna like kind of adopt into Deathless for the rest
Um
of it?
One of the things for sure is like how I've learned how to do trees. I can do trees so fast now. Like
Yeah.
it's like I found this like brush that like so a lot of people probably use it as the brush itself, but what I do is like what I do with hair, I completely silhouette the bush in black and then I take the brush as an eraser and then kind of
Oh,
take away and then do some line work over that
that
to
makes
kind of give
sense.
it texture and like like yeah, that's like how I honestly since it takes place in the woods, I've shortcut a lot because I really don't like drawing buildings at all. So I
No.
throw bushes in front of
Oh,
houses and stuff like that. And
100%, dude.
it completely allows it to go much quicker. You know,
Dude,
like I don't
oh,
want to sit there and figure out how the front entryway should look on a cabin. You
yep,
know what I'm saying?
dude,
I,
100%. Like as I've been coloring Deathless issue 3, I'm like our next book is not going to be like with any there will be no buildings in our next book. It's just going to be like
check out our next book that takes place in the void. It's just swirly purples
swirly
everywhere.
purple looks. Yeah, it's the Matrix where you're shut up.
But
Shut your
dude,
mouth.
honestly, I just need to take I need to take a hint from Marvel. Like, dude, I opened up a Marvel book
Yeah.
today and literally like everything is just gradient. There's literally never backgrounds. Every now and again you'll get an establishing shot,
Hmm.
but they don't do like backgrounds ever. It's literally just characters in a box
Yeah.
talking basically.
Oh, dude, it's yeah. They really ride on the fact that they have known characters. It sucks,
Yeah.
you know. Like people are like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter what's in the background. That's Wolverine talking. Like, all
Yeah.
right, it's that's annoying.
Don't get me wrong,
But
they still have epic shots sometimes, but it
yeah,
really I need to take advantage of
yeah,
gradient
when
panels.
you can, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean,
I don't need to figure out what the living room would look like behind the character while they're just talking real quick. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
no, that's totally true, dude. Especially since like I always try to do like an establishing shot and then there's a lot of conversation. So it's like you could just do like here's an establishing, you get what the room looks like. We'll do a general general colors of the background. You know, we have to start like working on that stuff because I think it will speed up our production a little bit,
mhm.
you know, at least to like
And then
consider.
just take the moments for the detail, like when there's like something huge happening. You know,
Yeah.
like even like in Deathless issue 3, like the playground, like it's like I can't not draw the playground
Yeah.
basically in every panel. Like I
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
like continue
You
the
know, yeah,
what's
it
happening here. And then
sucks
like
though.
even like when he was talking to M in her house, like I can't not include the things I've shown so far, like the
Right.
furniture I've shown, because then you lose place. But maybe you
Yeah.
don't lose place. Maybe I just need to focus on the characters in certain panels and just jump, you know?
I don't know. You know what's funny about it though is like it's frustrating to work on in real time, but
Uh-huh.
looking back on it, they look beautiful. Like the panels all
Mm-hmm.
look so beautiful, and like the book is something special because of that stuff. You know, like those
Mm-hmm.
little extra things that we do, where people are like, oh yeah, it's like the whole Tarzan soundtrack where it's like Phil Collins didn't have to go that
Yeah, he
hard.
didn't have
He didn't
to.
have to, but since he did, we all remember it, and it's gonna be in our hearts forever. You know.
I just want to know why Phil got so excited for Tarzan, man. I wish I knew. Like,
Dude, I don't know. It's so good though. But
it's literally like the Michael Bolton. Like, it really reminds of like Michael Bolton walking into Lonely Island after seeing the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and being so excited to sing
yeah,
about them. And
100%. He's like, I've been wanting to work on this my entire. I was made for this. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you're already famous. Like, yeah, yeah. I got famous so I could do this. But
I
yeah,
got yeah.
I think that's how this feels though, because I like we're gonna look back at it and be like, yeah, you didn't have to do that, but because you did, now we have like scavengers level like cool detail, or it's like that's what
Hmm.
made those pages so beautiful. Is just it was a full canvas, and
Yeah,
it
page
always
is busy,
yeah.
busy in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it adds like that dynamic style, and it's gorgeous, and I mean, it kind of like overwhelms you in a way that like helps you forget any flaws and like improves anything that you would enjoy about it already. So it's just
Like, I would say like one of the trickier things of drawing a like panels on a page, like just the talk comics,
Mhm.
is especially like for example the page where, like, not to give away anything in issue 3, but the page where Douglas is trying to handle the monkey bars,
Yeah.
I have to show him on or trying or touching or being around these monkey
Yeah.
bars on multiple panels. So then it's like, well, I gotta change the perspective a few
Mhm.
different times to flip around these monkey bars from different perspectives and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, it gets tricky because then you're like, where am I putting the camera here? Like
Yeah.
where do I want this camera to be? Because like
Oh, yeah.
it's, yeah, it
That's
gets it
that.
gets it gets challenging, but I mean, that page looks like it's such a silly page because he's a heavy set dude trying to like use monkey bars, and it's a challenge for him, but he's doing it. He's giving it his best, you know.
Yeah, he's the hero of our book, Stephen. That's his big challenge for the movie. But
Our superhero is like doing his best to get past the second monkey bar while swinging from
it's what we can relate to, okay?
it.
It's the people have spoken. But I'm excited. I'm excited to finally get this book going. Speaking of that, so I have a lot more time now to build the Kickstarter and work on that kind of stuff and get the books lettered. And like I'm going to be able to letter the whole book within a week, and I'm going to be, like I'm going to be able to like put up a Kickstarter literally whenever I want. So I that's the amount of time I have now, which is incredible, like
Hmm.
unprecedented. So that being said, Stephen, what do we do with this Kickstarter? Okay, because I'm like on the cusp of a couple of different things. Like we're well over a year since we launched our last Kickstarter. I don't want to wait until next year. That feels like too far. Like do you think I'm overthinking it by saying we're too close to Christmas? Do you think it's fine? Like, will people just have money
My
and
only concern, is we could run the campaign, and like we are close enough to, even when I finish Bloodlust, we only have a few more pages that I
yeah,
actually physically have to draw. So I mean, Deathless 3 is very close, but we got to consider a few things. We have to consider how long it's going to take Kablam to print them
mhm,
because of the time of year it is. I don't know. I remember that had impact on Play It Again one time.
mhm,
And then we just got to take into account shipping costs in this in the holiday season, because they do bump up a little
mhm,
bit.
mhm. Okay.
But other than that, I don't think it's really that much of a problem. And honestly, it's not like when we were kids. Like when we were younger, like
Yeah.
shipping stuff during the holidays meant that you weren't getting it till January, and that just doesn't happen anymore. I feel like it's crazy. I don't know how we've done it as a society, but everything's just more organized, because
Yeah.
probably because of computers and internet and things like that. But everything's just more organized, and everything does still pretty much get there when it's supposed to. So
Yeah.
I
So
think the smartest thing would probably be just to run it before we finish it, because
yeah,
this is the furthest we've ever been
we've
anyway
ever
before
been.
starting.
Exactly.
It's not like we have that much, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
That's basically the
even if
argument
we
I was about.
drag our feet to the gates of hell, we would still have it done in less than a month. So
Yeah.
like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm
No,
saying? Like,
exactly.
there's not like that much left. So
So like if I set up this Kickstarter, so this week I'm going to work on Bloodlust. I'm gonna get it all lettered, and I'm going to color a little bit as well. I'm going to color a lot honestly because I can.
Deathless, you're gonna
But
focus
yeah, I'm
Deathless
focused
after
on
that.
Deathless. So I'm gonna letter Bloodlust. I'm gonna color flat Deathless. But as far as like the Kickstarter is concerned, if I finish that, I can launch the pre-launch so people can start getting notified, and we can just do that.
I would say getting it up within like the second, or
Yeah,
second week of November, or even soon if you can. I'm not trying
yeah,
to rush you,
yeah.
but yeah, I think that'd be the best, because it's way before Christmas. People
Okay,
still have plenty of time to accommodate,
okay.
or allocate funds and things
So
like that.
okay, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna say now, like, okay, so this will release on Wednesday. The following Wednesday, I'm gonna launch the pre-launch. So I'll put the
Okay.
the link. That's my plan. I'll launch this. So like not this week, but like the following Wednesday, I'll launch like the pre-launch so everyone can hit that notify button and we can see hopefully people are going to be interested in it. The only thing I'll have to do is put together like a video, maybe. I know, like, a lot of people
Hmm.
haven't even been doing videos. I still like doing them anyway,
Hmm.
but like we can do that. We'll get together and like I can always add a video, I think, after running the pre-launch, so that should be okay, but yeah, so that'll be the plan. Oh, what are you gonna work on this week?
I'm gonna finish the rest of Bloodlust by Friday, and then Deathless, back to Deathless. I think I have so many, and I have so many commission projects. I feel so bad that I've let sit for so long, but it's like I really can't do anything because I know how Chris is awesome, but I know how he is. Like he's a business dude and he wants, he's gonna want his thing like done. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I just have to focus. I've been having to just like burn away time on that, So but yeah, that's my plan is to finish Bloodlust by Friday, and then I'll be open to do my commissions and the rest of Deathless issue 3. So
nice.
hopefully and this is like teaching me that like I just need to once again like kind of take advantage of time moments that I have. It's just I've had having busy weekends is the worst for me because if I
Dude, I
have
know.
something going on the weekend, that's literally the
All of your time.
biggest like straightaway of time I get. So
Yeah.
like, but I've just been pushing myself to like as soon as I get home from work, get in the shower and then just grab my iPad and sit on the couch. And I just
Yeah.
like I'm home and I literally draw till dinner and then
Yeah.
eat dinner with them and then I sit back down on the couch and draw until the kids go to bed. Like and we watched Agatha tonight. We were
Oh yeah, yeah.
pretty caught up on that
Are you
now. I
nice?
think
I think we're a couple
we got
behind, I think.
yeah, I think there's like 2 or 3 episodes left of the whole show that we
Yeah.
have left. But we've discovered the identity of the boy and all that.
Mhm.
So,
Nice.
but anyways, yeah. So that's how I've been doing. But yeah, so I'm gonna get Bloodlust finished and then Deathless and commissions. I'm on my way after.
Heck freaking yes. That's awesome. Okay, so I have lettering, I have coloring, I have a Kickstarter, I have a lot to do, but I have plenty of time to do it. I'm totally gonna do it. I I'm excited to get this freaking Kickstarter up. Let us know in the comments if you're excited for the Kickstarter and what sort of like reward tiers you're hoping to see this time. If you've never backed this before, feel free to give us some suggestions. We're interested, and I will be, building that Kickstarter this week. So it'll be up very soon. And I'm really hoping that everyone shows up for it and everyone buys every single comic and shares it with all of their friends. We're going to need all of your help, especially since it's been tricky lately getting views with this. It's always like that this time of year, so I'm not
It is.
worried
It
about it.
waxes and wanes.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. We'll just keep making our show and making our books and doing what we can. It's not a big deal. But I will have more time, as we're doing this, I have more time to focus on making short like videos and clips and that sort of thing. And I'll start posting those like as we catch up with Deathless. And after I finish Bloodlust, we can like get into that. So that'll be cool. That'll probably help the show a little bit and hopefully help the books.
Absolutely.
But if you've never read any of our books, check out the links below. You can read any of our books at wehaveissuespodcast.com. They're also up, or a couple of our books are up on Amazon, on Kindle and such. So you can read them there. Go check out our first book, Play It Again, or, issue 1 and 2 of Deathless. Stephen, where can people find you online?
You can find me pretty much anywhere at Stevie Wildcard. That's where I'm going to be on Twitter/X. I think Instagram even. And I'm not really active on Instagram at all, which is silly because I am an artist. But yeah, I don't even touch Instagram. So if you're going to get a hold of me, probably going to be on Twitter. Although I've been pretty absent there lately too. So
Well, I'll tell you that this time of year, I can't
yeah, I just try to avoid it because
especially this year.
I understand where everyone's coming from, but it just literally
Not
takes my soul and rips it into thousands of pieces. I just
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, speaking of Steven, dude, I'm so excited. Tomorrow is my anniversary with KT, and
That's amazing.
we're going to Melting Pot.
That's
Have you ever been to
exciting.
Melting
It's been
Pot?
a minute. Oh yeah, it's been a minute, but Tina and I have gone there before.
So okay, I haven't been there since I was like 18. I was like super young, like when I went there, and it's been a while. I'm so excited though because like
The bread
I
and cheese is like
yep
the
yeah
goat.
100%. You get the bread and cheese, and then the dessert. Anything in between is good. Like you get extra foods. Sweet.
Yeah, dipping the veggies in the oil or the
Oh,
cheese is good too. But dude, the bread always ends up being the best.
always, always.
Bread and cheese. You can't
Yeah,
go wrong with bread and
you
cheese.
can't go wrong. Yeah, dude, I'm so excited. And KT's never been there, so like it's going to be fun and something special. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Um, Other than that, I've just been obviously thinking about like I'm gonna eventually propose to this person, and I have to figure out how that's gonna happen and when that's gonna happen. That's interesting. I don't know. We'll talk about that next week. Next week we'll talk about, because I'm going to
I'm
ask you
so
questions.
down.
I'm going to ask you questions about that and like get your advice on some things too. But until then, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate you. We're so freaking thankful to have you around. If you watched this far in the episode, just know that we freaking love you. We appreciate you. Steven, what do you want to say to the people before we go?
Thank you for sticking with me, even though I've been super absent and super distant lately. I totally
Super
apologize for that, but life is crazy. But I still appreciate and love each and every one of you for sticking to us and being our friends.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
yeah, we really just appreciate you and we love you, and we're so thankful that you're here. Go hang out with us on Twitter, and try to get us to post on Instagram. Sometimes I also don't post on Instagram. I
I
should.
need to.
I
It's
should.
literally an image sharing website, and I do
I know.
images.
I know.
Makes no sense.
But yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your suggestions or comments on the show. Please make sure you share the link with everyone you know. I know it's people get sick of us sharing it, so it's always helpful when your friends say like, "Hey, this show's actually worth checking out. Go watch it." So it would mean a lot to us, and we'd really love you for that. But thank you so much. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been Wave Issues. We'll see you next time.
Every now and then the time comes where you just gotta go. Boom.
Just had to hit him with a sultry.
Just had to hit him with a little song. They didn't get a song this week, so I gave him a song on the boom.
True. Yeah, that's true. Like next week we'll do a couple of fun segments and stuff. This week I was like, let's just talk about our stuff, because I mean it's kind of a big deal that
there's a lot of stuff happening. Yeah, that's huge. Quit your job. I've done almost 11 pages of a comic in like 2 months somehow.
Dude, it's nuts.
And honestly, if I would have just had this same like steam going in when I started, like, because I had this I had that weird lull in between where I was still doing Deathless simultaneously too.
Yeah, that's
so like,
yeah.
I think I had gotten, since talking with Chris, I think I've done like 4 or 5 pages of Deathless and all of these pages. So, but yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Can't wait till it's done.
Yeah, you've been working like mad. So I'm so excited to see how this Bloodlust thing pans out, and hopefully it works out for us. And it's just like it's much better than we can imagine. Like I don't know. We don't know. We'll find out though. We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh, all right, dude. I love you. Let's all right.
Good night. And you have 2 whole days to edit this. Well, you should probably still do it tonight though, because you got plans tomorrow.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow during the day because I'm home.
Ooh, because you have all day off now. Enjoy that, Anthony.
Dude, oh, it's amazing. All right, dude. I love you.
I love you, dude.
All right, bye, dude.
Bye.